DNVR Broncos live, coming to you from Studio A here at the DNVR Bar, where A stands for agents.
I like it. That works. That works. Bravo.
Thank you. We got a little deal or no deal going today. And by the way, watched the show yesterday.
What a way to prep. You did your homework.
Yeah, I wanted to check in on the boys, make sure you guys were doing all right.
Were we?
And great show, honestly.
Watched the Broncos show.
Yeah.
I thought you meant deal or no deal.
Oh.
Yeah. I was
That's
like,
actually a
damn,
sick show.
you know how to prepare.
I had one of these little things. It was like a deal or no deal. It's like plastic. It's like $25 at Target or something. But it'll have like all different buttons and stuff, and you get to just play deal or no deal. And when I was like 9, I'd play 15 games of deal or no deal a day.
Wow. So
Yeah.
you know how to work this.
Oh, yeah.
You just love the art of the deal.
And moving along. That's not my job to move us along, but moving along.
I didn't pick up on that
Yeah,
one.
I know.
I'll need to be explained later.
Wow.
So you were about to compliment us. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt that.
No, yeah. I turned the show on. I know what happened. So I'm a big fan of YouTube on the TV these days.
Yeah.
Becoming a big YouTube on the TV guy.
Yeah.
And
Just got the app on there already.
so yeah, exactly.
Yep.
So I saw we dropped the vlog from Indy.
Oh,
Which,
yeah.
by the way,
Yep.
go watch it. Hit it with a thumbs up.
It was
So
good.
It was good.
It was great.
I
Yeah.
enjoyed it.
I'm always surprised.
I was
Like,
actually
oh
kind of
God, here we go. Did I do something dumb? It's like, oh no, that was actually enjoyable to watch, even though I was already there.
I thought the other way around. I was like, oh man, Hank keeps doing dumb stuff. That's hilarious.
Well, I mean, the bar is kind of low.
I was disappointed in RG that he allowed me to copy your joke
I know.
in the video because I didn't hear you. I wasn't around when you said it the first time.
Well, the
I was
thing
like,
is, he
he'll
included
edit it out.
Exactly, he included it, but he didn't even include me saying like, I already said that.
Yeah.
Like that's my joke. Like, yeah, he did you dirty.
He made
there.
me look like a thief.
My
Anyways.
fiance today actually said, "Wait, is it the NFL Combine?" And I said, "No, it's the Combine." She said, "What's Combine?" And I said, "Hank likes to make that joke."
Wow, and the way you said it reminded me of what we were doing all week. In
Yeah.
Indianapolis.
Yes, it's very
that
true.
came up. Yeah, because I also watched it with Lexi, and so
I also watched it with Allie.
wow, we should have all had a party, a little watch party.
8-minute watch party.
Every time we drop a vlog, an 8-minute watch party.
Yeah,
I want to have a
exactly.
watch party with that podcast I sent you guys before the show.
Oh boy.
Oh, God.
I don't know if we have that much time.
No, I've got one video I'm watching on repeat for the next, I don't even know how many days.
It's like a 45-second video.
Oh,
Shout out to our guy Matt McChesney.
that is one of the funniest things
It's hilarious.
I've seen in a long time.
It is.
I love him.
Where can people find that?
Let's plug McChesney's TikTok.
He actually does
NS
numbies on that TikTok.
I know exactly.
NF.
If you just search
not
Odin,
s-
it'll pop up.
FW?
Not safe for work?
Yeah, potentially some of them.
Just language.
Okay.
Also, like, if you can't have cursing at your job,
Well, I was going to say, when you say just language, I think that's most people's jobs would then include the NSFW for that. Most people.
like, you think that, like, I don't know.
Okay, not most, a lot.
The local, like, like, Chase Bank, you can't have, like, cursing at work.
Probably not. Probably shouldn't be hearing it from the computers.
Can't I
The
think
thing
of
is, like-
places that people work.
I know.
Morgan Stanley?
Boom, you got
Are we
it.
I
cursing
do
in
that
the
same
office?
thing. It's like everybody who works just works for a bank. It's like you either work at a
Either
bank or you.
host a podcast or you work for a
Exactly.
Who would
But
be
yeah, I mean,
the Odin of this podcast?
Oh,
oh
Hank.
wow.
Oh, wow.
Happy to take that
If we were all
role.
to try it. Oh yeah, but 60academy_60. All written out numbers at the front,
You have
just
to
a
see
60
this.
at the end. It's very good.
It's too
1.6
good.
million views on Twitter.
Wow.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
I'm tweaking.
What was I going to say? Oh, right. So
You're
then,
complimenting us.
Yes.
Thank
man,
you.
it's hard to
Bring it
finish a
on.
compliment
Bring
for
it
you
on,
guys.
baby.
So then it just rolled into yesterday's show, and I was like, oh, I'll just watch the beginning. But
Oh,
it was
yeah.
so good, I couldn't stop watching.
Wow.
So great job, boys. Also, Henry saying, I drank this coffee today, and I feel like I'm drinking negative coffee. I've
Yep.
never related to anything more than exactly that same thing happened to me
Yeah.
yesterday. I was just like, I wonder if the energy it takes for me to get this coffee to my mouth is a net negative over the energy that the coffee is giving me.
It's terrible.
Are you guys feeling that way now?
No, I'm spring chicken.
Left
Wait.
too late to get coffee.
Hockey.
Hockey.
That's
That's what I
sushi.
was reading.
Yeah, that would be
I
an
need
interesting
coffee.
time to eat it. But wait,
Taki.
Ryan, I don't think we had this conversation on the pod.
Oh, no.
But today, is that coffee that you have?
It is not. It's juice.
Oh, that's juice?
What?
Doesn't that look like black coffee?
Yeah, it's
It
like a
almost looks like there's
cran
ice on
apple.
top. There is ice.
Okay, well, never mind. I was going to
Ice
give you
with
credit.
juice.
Can't give you credit now.
Why?
It was, no, I think it was after the show.
Oh.
Yep.
I see what
Or
I know
during
what
the
you're
show.
talking about.
Yeah, he knows.
During
I
the
told
show?
him right
No free
after.
ads?
You
Yeah.
told him? Yeah.
Yeah.
You yelled at Henry after the show yesterday.
Yeah.
So I thought you heard that.
Oh.
No.
Had too much of a coffee company around on the set recently. We don't even have a coffee partner. If we had a coffee partner, I'd be down.
Do they even do advertising? Like, I don't think we have a chance of getting a deal with them.
Their advertising is that they have a sign every block because there's another one of them.
I
Yeah,
love
well,
that
they
we're
don't
not
commercials
giving
anymore.
them free advertising right now after we've consistently given them free
you
advertising.
got to draw the line somewhere.
Really,
Okay, I
one
like
a
it.
day. So
Yeah.
no more coffee on the show.
Also,
Oh,
just
this
one
is gonna
thing
be a
about
bad
the
show.
report-
Cranberry juice.
Jesus.
One thing
hell
about
no.
the whole report card. And you mentioned
Oh,
it
yeah.
a little bit at the end, but everything I see about it, I read about it, I whatever about it, hear about it, I just can't stop hearing Pat Bowlen say, "We want to be number one in everything. We want
Yep.
to be number one in everything." And I am confident in this new ownership group to want to be number one as well. Mm-hmm. Like you guys talking about the planes, it's just like, how would we not have a Broncos branded plane?
Yeah. Especially
that'd be
now.
so
Like,
sick.
I understand Pat didn't have, how much
No,
are
he
two
didn't.
planes? Hundreds of millions of dollars?
It's a good question. What's a,
100
what's a-
million? I
what's
don't
a
know.
standard plane MSRP these days?
Yeah, it's got to be, I'm going to guess 100 mil for two
Yeah.
combined. I'm going to say 50 million each.
Okay.
I have no idea how close I am.
Sounds about right.
Okay. Oh, deal or no deal? Over, under.
I'm gonna say over 50 mil
Over for two,
Slightly.
for one.
for one plane.
Okay, Henry?
I'll take over.
You're both going over. Okay, great. This gives me the under.
It does.
I
Well,
like
and
it.
I guess it depends on the size of the plane because it can't just be like a private jet.
Right. No, it's got to be
needs
a
Yeah.
big boy.
commercial
So,
size
like-
plane.
Yep. Yep.
Which would that be like a 747, 757? Might be
a
767.
normal one is what I,
I
would
think
say.
I think when you fly, like, what did we fly on the way here? Or on the way to Indy? Is it like a 737?
What do you guys want to know?
Let's
I
do
got-
47. Isn't that seems like the
Yeah,
most
that seems
normal
standard.
number?
So-
Cost of a 747.
A 747 is $387.2 million. A
So
seven-
two 750?
Yeah,
And
that-
then a 737 is $103.4 million.
Whoa. Talk about a good deal compared to the
So
747.
we'll go for the 777. They've got the money for it.
So 747 has 6 first class seats, 26 prestige, and 314 economy.
but this
so
is
you
custom
can go.
made.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So what they're doing, and that's why they're getting
like a
two
Pimp
of
My
them,
Ride
is
situation.
so that
Yep.
they're all first class seats.
But that's why, let's see. So 737, there's 16 first class, 108 main cabin. So I don't think you could convert everything to first class and fit it all in. You might need
Well, that's why they
747.
have two. And,
Yep. Yep.
Or
Patriots.
two. There you go.
Yep.
So a 777 is almost the same cost as a 747.
Oh.
So it's $344.2 million. So just go with the
So
big
it actually
plane.
might be economical to get a double-decker 777
And just
instead
one.
of having to buy two planes.
And that's
Yeah.
three something? Is that
I
what
think
you guys said?
we'll just say 5.
Okay.
Okay,
Wait,
well,
how many chartered flights would it take to make up for that? To pay that off?
Yeah, but
How much-
what
I
about
don't
the
even know what a
flex
charter is.
value?
Oh, the flex value's right
first
there.
class.
Honestly, I mean, it hurts saying this. Credit to Robert Kraft for buying two of them. Of course, pimping them out on the inside, but also the outside. They've got their Lombardi trophies on the outside. Broncos, what are we doing?
Yeah.
I mean, not many teams can do that. Almost $500 million on a plane, but the Broncos can do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, I'm glad that this report came out. This will be the last we talk about it, but I'm
Yeah, I
glad it
want
came
your- I
out
want
because
your thought.
it puts the pressure on teams
Yeah.
to up this stuff. Like,
Yep.
how in the world are the Cardinals going to get a free agent this year?
My goodness.
How could you sign there?
I don't know.
yeah.
And our
There's
guy
nothing.
Johnny Venerable, we know how fired up he can get and be tearing into the Cards, and boy did he do that.
Yeah.
Deservedly so, though.
It should just be called like the PHNX Down Bad podcast.
It's so true because, like you said, they're gonna have to draft perfectly in order to get things turned around. Because why would you sign there?
Like, I got to see this weight room.
Is it bad?
I don't know. It's like a health hazard to walk across the room.
That sounds like the Commanders.
Like, I'm just imagining
Yeah.
like floorboards turned upside down with like spikes
Nails
coming
coming
out
up
of it.
as you're having to pay for your dinner.
Yep. Yeah, they pay.
Wow.
You have to pay like an exit fee, like you're leaving a parking garage when you leave.
That's so embarrassing. So like the Broncos, they were almost bottom 10 overall, but like we kind of broke down yesterday, really, they just need to upgrade and they need bigger, which Ryan, we kind of think it boils down to they need to move. And
I think that's a wild take
okay,
Really?
tell me why.
because like it's not like they need exponentially more space.
Everything was too small.
Like
Just-
you need to
Plus the fact-
double size the building.
Why?
You don't think it needs to be that much bigger?
No.
Everything was too small according to this.
I know,
In fact,
but,
they
like-
need a family room. They don't even have one.
Well, maybe they could use that media room they took away from us.
Oh boy! But then that'll make players more upset that they don't have a place to go that they never want to go.
They don't have a place to not play Papa Shot.
Exactly. Yes. Speaking of Papa Shot, Henry beat you.
I did at the
Oh my
airport.
Yeah, at the
I-
airport.
Airport.
Do we have that on tape?
No, I went
Would've
to
made
go
the
get my
vlog.
phone out, and it was you were done.
Damn.
Yeah.
I am pretty sure Henry got his shot off after the buzzer.
Ah.
Like, if that goes to the tape, I just don't think that counts.
I think that also though, aren't there like lasers in the hoop that
There
tell
are.
you whether the
There
ball
are,
goes in
yeah.
before the
Yeah, but,
buzzer?
like,
Yep.
robot umps are wrong sometimes too.
Are they?
Yeah.
Based on what?
I thought the whole reason that you wanted lasers and remote umpires is because it can't be wrong.
It's more accurate than the human eye, but not perfect.
Well, there we go. It's the lasers in the hoop versus your human eye.
Right now, it's just a toss up because we can't go back to the tape. I'm just saying that thing was
It
not
counted.
A toss-up. I see what you did
Yeah.
there.
Anyways,
Indianapolis Airport has free Papa Shot is what we're talking
and it's
about.
really quiet.
Oh my gosh, no, there's metal
People were
everywhere.
Upset. People
That
were
was
upset.
wild. So it was obviously creating a ruckus itself. It was
Oh
just like,
yeah.
And there's two of them right next to each other, and then you get two people who are playing it together
And
also
yelling.
making noises.
Well, and
Yeah.
then, like, you know, as soon as Henry hits that shot, alleged buzzer beater to win, I was just like, no! And then I turned around, there's like 47 people looking
Yeah.
right at it.
Everybody's just sitting there, just like little tables and chairs.
The
and,
whole
like,
time, Henry in the airport's just like, this one's a bomb, 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 as he's just screaming bomb in the airport.
Oh, wow.
so many rules.
So, anyways, I just think they could expand everything like 25% in that area, and it would alleviate these problems.
There's no room to
yeah.
expand.
That's
and you
in
heard
between the
Yahir's
fields?
This is like
insight
such a
on
company line.
You heard Yahir's insight that you can't expand. There's groundhogs there.
Okay,
Prairie dogs.
that was also just bullshit. Like, there weren't prairie dogs in the area where they built the giant facility, but 1 foot to the left of it there are.
I don't
Well,
know.
actually, dude, it is true because that's what the Rapids struggled with. You
Okay.
you get alleviated once, and then if you try to expand, you can't go anymore.
Ryan, where can they
It's an
expand?
actual law. Like,
There's no
I'll show
place to
you.
expand.
Look at this. See this little green area? All expansion right there.
Okay, you've
Wait.
got a point.
Wait, let me see where it is.
I'll put it up on the screen so everybody can see it.
Okay.
Okay.
Whoa.
I wasn't yelling bomb. I don't
No, you know, no, not. Maybe they could do that, but the Walton Penners, Ryan, we just talked about flexing your muscles. They could maybe charter instead of United. They could charter Emirates, you know, to take that kind
Ooh.
of next step up. But you know what's even more balling than that? Buying your own plane
Yeah.
and getting it catered. That's like this. They could expand to that little area, or you could just build a whole new facility and really flex those
For
muscles.
what it's
This whole
worth,
parking lot can go.
That's where
Just make people park over there now.
players park though.
They park? No. That's this parking lot.
But there's also, I see, yeah. You gotta have parking. So Ryan's talking about the bottom right.
The bottom
corner.
right corner, plenty of room for expansion.
oh, that's like where we stand.
No,
No, it's not.
that's
It's
like
just like a
it
green belt.
really is wasted area. I'd prefer not to kill that grass though.
No, that's like
Oh,
out
wow.
front, right?
Yeah.
Like that's where Sierra parks.
yes.
No, the
That's
parking lot
not-
to the left of it is where Sierra parks.
Exactly.
I'm saying the parking lot up by the indoor
UCL,
facility.
yeah, or the Papo.
They could just build another building there.
yeah, but then again,
I'm not supporting anything that's like, oh, well, sorry, we had to move the stadium outside of downtown.
and that's
Oh,
fair.
yes.
That's fair. That's fair.
You just needed more space.
Yeah,
Like, no,
it's
just
fair.
find space.
I just think that they're going to say, yeah, and we found a lot of space out by the airport, and we can combine these things.
I know they're going to do that. I'm just not.
Fair. Okay,
not
we
allowing
agree.
it.
So Ryan says, no deal.
No deal.
Not
No
expanding.
deal. Wow.
Well, you're expanding there. You're not moving.
Also, the Patriots have a 767. Cardinals are 777.
The Cardinals have their own plane.
Yes, or at least they did as of last January.
It was donated to them by Spirit Airlines.
If the Cardinals do and they are failing everything else, then come on, Broncos. Come on.
Wow.
Fair enough.
The
Do you
team
think Pat
website
Bowlen
says
did it
it-
on purpose, building the Broncos facility in between a jail and a sheriff's office?
Well, it did come in handy about 10 years ago
It sure did.
when
Oh,
Matt
boy.
Russell
Yep.
was commuting.
Easiest work release ever.
Yep. It real story.
Didn't Von Miller also get a ticket down that street because of the sheriff's office right there? They caught him speeding.
They're on it on that street.
Yeah. Oh my
Never
goodness.
fuck around on that street.
Training
No.
camp, look at the signs. If there is a no U-turn,
Oh, they got
do
me, yep.
not U-turn. Wow.
Yep.
Do you not look at signs, Henry?
Well,
I'm never driving with you again.
The thing is, the sign, they don't have the sign on like the on the lights.
Honestly,
true.
it's
So
like
you're
a
watching
rite
the
of
lights.
passage.
they
They
put
have
it
it off to the
right
side.
in front of your face.
No,
My face is looking up.
it's a rite of passage if you're going to cover the Broncos.
Exactly.
Ticket on that street.
Exactly.
But I haven't done it.
You haven't done
Yeah,
it, Zach?
so it's not. No, I've never done it because it's not.
Well, then you don't belong.
so,
When I
but if
was-
that they only enforce that, or there's only that sign, like you said, they only put that out there for training camp.
I'm going to touch wood like 100 times right here. When I
That was
was
impressive. That was fast.
like, I'm going to say 18, maybe 19.
Okay.
I got speeding tickets on back-to-back days,
Wow.
which is just like so embarrassing. Like, you
Yeah.
feel like you should learn from one. To be
Yeah.
like, at least for a week, I'm not going to.
Yeah.
Back-to-back days, haven't gotten a ticket since.
Impressive.
Yeah.
My first, yes.
So I actually got back-to-back tickets in a span of 3 hours.
Wow,
Wow.
even
Whoa.
worse. I definitely, proudly cannot top that. 2 times I've been pulled over. One, I was pulled over by a park ranger inside a national park for allegedly not fully stopping at a stop sign.
Wow.
Oh my
That's-
God! In a national park?
Yeah, yeah.
What if
yeah.
there was like a baby animal?
Well, I had my driver's permit. My dad was in the car. We were getting ice cream. And
In a national park?
Yeah, but the place we were staying was technically inside the park, but it wasn't really inside the park, so we were leaving it.
Were like fines doubled inside the park?
Thankfully, no.
Oh, okay.
But then the other time I got pulled over, this reminds me of a conversation we had maybe 2 weeks ago. I was going 68 in a 65.
No
And
way.
I got pulled over. Yep. Let off without a ticket. But when I think and why I got let off is the officer came up and said, "Do you know what you're pulled over for?" You know how they say that? And I said, "Yeah, I was going 68 and a 65. I don't understand why I got pulled over." And he was like, "What don't you understand about that?" And I was
Oh
like,
my God.
"Makes sense. Fair. Okay."
No,
I
not
understand. Well, and then so I think because I was like truly confused about it, again, my dad was in the car for this one. He was like, "Okay, I'm going to let you off with a warning. We are driving through Nebraska, so we can blame Nebraskans for it." Yep.
I got
Fair.
pulled over for speeding my first year covering CU. You know, like you get into Boulder and the road kind of like
brutal.
turns.
Oh,
Yep. Yep.
I got pulled over and they changed the speed limit.
Yep.
Like 2 months later, they changed it. They like pushed up those speed limits to like where it should be, or like change where they change. That's what it was. It changed in a weird place, and I just missed the sign.
Wow.
They
That's
fixed that.
brutal.
I haven't gotten pulled over
Um,
since then.
I got
Nice.
102 and a 70 in the state of Kansas.
What is wrong with you?
It was a road trip. I just thought when you were like, I think I was like 18 or something. I just thought like if you're on a road trip,
Right.
everything's fair game.
Wow.
Was it? Did the cop catch up to you?
Yeah.
Wow. He must have loved that.
Exactly. That's the time of their life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Advanced
and
Joseph on a sideline.
I was just speechless. I don't know. I didn't know what to say. You know, he's like,
Did he
Yeah.
It's
knock
like, I
it
could
down
actually
for
take
you?
you to jail
Oh yeah, I
if
was
I
gonna
want.
say.
Yeah.
But he
I
helped
was
you out.
like, yeah, we're just trying to make it to Lawrence for the Buffs game. I don't know. What to tell you.
So actually, it's funny because from here to Vegas, there's satellites that measure your speed, and there's cops positioned so they
Yeah.
can pull you over.
Yeah.
Seems like some 1984 shit.
Yeah, John
There we
Buckley
go.
can actually top us all. He says in the comment section, "I got pulled over by the same cop on 3 consecutive mornings, but did not get a ticket on any of those days." Oh my gosh.
Do you guys want one more
Yeah,
pulled over?
I need
story?
it. I need
Sure.
it.
All right, so
You got a smirk on your face.
We're 23 minutes in. Oh,
we
okay,
already
started
we talked a
late.
little bit about the
We
Broncos.
did.
Yeah.
The facility.
All
We have a
right,
project today.
so
Role play.
it's Valentine's Day.
Okay.
Role play.
I like where this is going.
I've got a date. This is senior year of high school, and I asked my stepdad if I can borrow his like nice car for the date. He's like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" So
What car is it?
a Mercedes,
Okay. Nice.
convertible,
Damn.
but it's February in Colorado. So
Okay.
go out with this girl, have a good time. I'm driving her home, and I get pulled over.
Okay.
Super embarrassing. And he's like, license and registration. I'm like, here's my license. I don't know where the registration is. He's like, is this your car? I'm like, no. I'm like, am I gonna get I'm like, it's my dad's car. Like,
Yeah.
you can call him, I guess, if you want. Like, give him, I'm like shuffling through everything. I can't find any of it. He's like, well, the plates are expired. I'm like,
Oh no. Oh no.
he's like, so like, what are you guys doing? I'm like, oh, we just like went out Valentine's Day. Like, I'm taking her home. He's like, nice. You're gonna go in? I'm like, I was like, I don't know. I guess we'll see. Like, I'm like kind of like trying to play along.
Yeah.
So he's like, I guess he thinks this is like funny or cute or whatever. So he's like, all right, I'm gonna just let you off with a warning.
Oh.
So
Wow.
I think it was like a Friday, or I guess it's Thursday.
Okay.
Right?
I think
don't know.
it's the 14th, right?
Yeah.
Every
day.
So it
was
rotates,
like
yeah.
I think it was a Friday.
Okay.
So I do take the girl home, drop her off. My friends are like, come over, like, we're having a party or whatever.
Oh no.
So I leave the car,
Yeah.
and I get in my car,
Okay.
and then I'm hauling ass over to meet up with my friends, get pulled over by the same guy.
Oh my
But
goodness.
you know how he was kind of like
Yeah.
doing the thing?
Yeah.
So he's like, didn't I just pull you over? I was like, yeah, I got to go pick up my next date. And he's like, oh, you dog, bro.
Oh my God.
Lets me off.
Wow. Did he realize it was a different car?
Yeah. I was like, I had to take car home because the plates were expired.
Wow. You
Wow.
play
And
it.
well, I was lying.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Wow. That's
All right.
impressive.
Yep.
That's a good one.
All right. Deal or no deal?
Deal or no deal? Denver Broncos edition?
Whoa.
Yeah, what do we think?
I think deal or no
let's do it.
deal.
Are we dealing
Deal.
or no
That's a
dealing?
deal.
That's a
Deal.
deal. It's a deal after I tell you about how to get a deal over at DraftKings Sportsbook. Ryan was dishing out deals 2 months ago, saying Jokic MVP. That was a deal at plus
deal.
900, plus 1100. What'd you get at that?
I got it at plus 900.
Plus 900.
But that
I
was
believe
before
at
the
one
season.
point he was at plus 2,000. You could have got in on that deal, and boy, is that a deal that everyone would take right now. What is he, Hank? Minus
380.
minus 380 over at DraftKings. No deal there, but where the deal is Nuggets to win the championship, Nuggets to win the West, Avs to win the championship, although these odds are going down as both teams just continue to dominate. You can get in on that. You can also get in on the Nuggets tonight. What's Jokic same game parlay for a triple-double and Nuggets win at? Probably
I don't
like
know yet.
plus 200.
Plus 125.
Oh, my
You
goodness.
got Nuggets triple-double, or Jokic triple-double plus Nuggets win. It's only plus 125.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
You're barely getting plus value. That is insane. So that's more of a deal than Jokic minus 380. So get in on that. Get in on everything over at DraftKings Sportsbook. Use that promo code DNVR when you sign up. And if you place a $5 bet, they're going to give you $200 in bonus bets when you sign up. So make sure to get that deal. It's a deal that cannot be beat. Use that code DNVR. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. Void no how. See show notes for details. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700.
Plus 125.
And you can also get your hands on some pretty sweet tickets to go see the Nuggets, which I'm just thinking they might have drawn those tickets yesterday.
Today,
Today's the drawing day?
winners,
Today, Nuggets are still going on.
Avs
think it's the
will
other
be
way.
announced today.
Oh, no, that does make sense. That does make sense. These are, it's because it's copied from a spreadsheet. But yeah, so yeah, today, drawing tickets that we are partnering with Breckenridge Brewery to give away. Have we drawn them yet?
The winner will be announced today. That's what I
Okay.
know.
Okay, the winner will be announced today, But you can still get in for the Nuggets drawing, which is also for 2 tickets, courtside row 2, Club Lexus access, a parking pass, DNVR gear. The game is March 30th against the New Orleans Pelicans. Usually don't say Orleans.
Yeah, I was
felt
gonna say,
wrong.
it's weird,
Felt wrong.
yeah.
I hated that. Never again.
Never, please.
But yeah,
Caramel.
drawing. If you want to get in on that, go to thednvr.com/BreckSweeps. That's thednvr.com/BreckSweeps. You got to complete the form. Got to be 21 or older. There's also a link in the show description, so get in on that. That drawing will also be held a week before that game.
Man, we cannot push this conversation off any longer. We were going to have this conversation like 10 days ago, and every day I've pushed it off one day just because the Broncos have been doing stuff. They've been shaking and baking, and we even pushed it off one more segment. Today, no more.
No more.
Yeah.
Let's make a deal.
Let's make a deal. All
Or
right.
try to make a deal.
So the way this is going to work, Henry is all-time George Payton.
Yep.
All-time GP.
He is pitching the deals. Zach and I are going to alternate. One of us is going to be the player. The other one of us is going to be the podcast, meaning after the deal is made, we got to say what we would be saying on this podcast.
I
Do we
like
like
it.
the deal for the Broncos? Do we like the deal for the players?
Like it.
We're the Broncos idiots for offering that deal.
Yeah.
Right. That'd
What
be
if there's just no deal made? Oh, then the podcast reacts to letting this player walk.
Yes.
Yep.
Got it. I like it.
All right, so first up, what do we got?
Again, so we're just pulling these numbers from the story I wrote a couple weeks ago now.
It's called repurposing.
Yes, exactly. So I'm just pulling these same numbers from here. And again, these aren't necessarily like what these players deserve. It's if I was George Payton, what would I offer?
Love it.
And we're starting with Dre'Mont Jones.
Oh, the big one.
So Dre'Mont.
Hit me with
Draymond
it,
is
baby.
looking small.
Draymond,
Show
yeah, I'm having some
me
second
the
thoughts.
money, baby.
You got to really get in your Draymond.
Oh, no, you
that
look
didn't
just
make
like
me
him.
big.
Yep, there you go. There you go. You did it. So here's the truth, Dre'Mont. You know, we think you're a really good player, and to be honest, we think it's best if you hit the open market. We think that your best offer is probably going to come from outside, and just given where we are right now, it's just tough for us to make any big commitments just knowing what we have on the books.
Bye.
And we understand that, but if things don't go well, if you go out there and the market isn't there like we think it will be, like you think it will be, we'll bring you back for $14 million next year. We'll give you full guarantee. If you want some security and you're not finding that out there, we'll give you 3 years at $13 million a year. That's almost fully guaranteed. And we understand. We think you have better options out there. But if the market doesn't come to fruition, that's what we got for you here.
Wait, so excuse me.
So Dre'Mont, you doing all right? Do we need a little medical check here? Take in for physical?
What's the deal? You threw out 2 deals.
Yeah.
It's up to you.
It's up to me.
Yep.
There's
We
three
put
options here, really.
two of them on the table. 1 year, $14 million, full guarantee. You can come back. We'll give that to you.
You know, I got to stop you right there.
Yep.
The fact that you felt comfortable offering me that deal, we're done with talks. This thing is
Whoa.
over. I am offended. Get out of here. I'm getting more than $14 million for 1 year, for a multi-year deal, and I'm certainly getting more than one deal. F you. I'm out of here. Don't talk to me again. Don't offer me that second deal.
All right. Well, we wish you the best of luck.
No, you don't.
Welcome to the DNVR Broncos Podcast, coming to you live from Studio A, where the A stands for adios. Dre'Mont Jones out the door, and he tweeted today he is not coming back to Denver. This is unfortunate that things went down this road, but I think the Broncos played this right. You don't want to pay elite money to great players. You want to pay elite money to elite players, and Dre'Mont Jones has not showed that yet. Maybe he has elite potential, but you know, the teams that are being talked about him, the Jaguars, the Commanders, the Lions, the Bears, these are teams that have a history of overpaying for these guys, and it just never really works out. I think the Broncos did the right thing here. Would have been great if they could get him back on one of those deals, but, you know, in the end, you got to say goodbye.
Clap it up, guys. We killed it.
Yeah.
That was good. Great analysis. Terrible deal, Hank. And I think I played it well.
Oh, gosh,
What would you guys have offered?
The comments are very upset with
I know.
GM Hank.
Yeah,
I
so the other deal was 3 years, $13 million a year.
Yep. And that's mostly, it's like 83% guaranteed, I guess.
Yeah, I think Draymond's gonna get. Let me think about this: 60 to 70 million.
Yep.
Over 4 years?
in a total contract.
Yep.
Yeah, and then what would that
Yep.
be? 40 mil guaranteed.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're halfway there. With your best
in that
offer.
way, yeah, exactly. But I mean, $3 million off per year, I guess.
Yeah,
Which-
but I mean, I'm with you, Hank. In terms
4.
of Broncos perspective, I like those deals for the Broncos.
I just you got to turn some things over, and giving Draymond a lot of money, like you could get a lot of good players for $16-17 million a year.
Yeah, for me personally, 13 even makes me feel uncomfortable.
I know.
I think I would even go just a little bit lower, but if you're getting around there for Draymond, it is probably the right value for him, but I just think he's going to want way more.
The hard thing for the
And he
fans
should.
here, and I know everyone wants Dre'Mont back, right?
Yep.
Whenever you have a good player, you want him back. But the same fans who are saying, like, offensive line, offensive line, offensive line, offensive line, are saying, bring back Dre, bring back Dre, bring back Dre. And it's just like, it's not a one or the other necessarily, but doing one in paying Dre'Mont Jones, because if we're not okay with, the chat saying that the GM should have offered more. So we're saying what, 15 million a year, 3 years?
Yep.
3 years, 45 million?
Yeah, probably 4 years, 60.
Okay, 4 years,
Or even
60 million.
65, yeah.
I mean, you now have room for one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're hoping that you get one good offensive lineman out of this. And so while I would love Dre'Mont to be back,
Yes, definitely.
I would much more prefer to see the Broncos go get 2 starting offensive linemen.
100%. And also, you have to keep in mind that the Broncos don't have a first or a second round pick to then go and get that offensive lineman. So they have to use their resources wisely in free agency.
Without thinking about, I don't know if either of you know what his actual Madden rating is. What do you think Dre'Mont Jones DNVR Broncos Madden rating is? A scale of 1 to 100.
Like if we were giving it,
Yeah, if you're
Okay.
giving him a rating on a scale of 1 to 100.
83. I'd say he's an 83 in Madden.
I'd say 80.
And I think his actual rating is a 76.
It was a 75 before the start of the season, so they thought it went up 1 point.
So it's a 76 in
I'm
real
pretty
life?
sure it's a 76.
Yikes. Yeah, I had him right around 80.
Yeah.
And that, like,
He's a good
He's a
player.
player that you want to have.
Yep.
For sure.
Yep.
But I don't think you can pay 80 players 90 contracts.
No.
Because you're not, like, you're hoping to get 90 play out of them.
Yep.
But those 90 guys, you notice them day in, day out, game in, game out. You have to game plan around them.
Yep.
Dre'Mont Jones is a very good player.
Yep.
I just don't think defenses are saying, how in the world are we going to stop Dre'Mont this
No,
week?
and to me, what scares me, and I think
Or
what
offenses, sorry.
what is really bad for a team is when you pay elite money to a non-elite player, and that's no slight to Dre'Mont Jones. He's, like you said, Ryan, he's a very good player. Every
Yes.
team would love him on their team.
He starts for everybody.
Exactly, but to me, you can't overpay for a defensive tackle position, defensive lineman position when you're in this team's position right now.
And the reason he'll get so much money is because there's teams with money who will say, you know what? This is somebody who has proven he'll give you 6 sacks a year. You're going to get 6 sacks a year from him. And you've seen enough flashes to say he might get you 12. And if he winds up being a 12 sack per year player, then it's going to really suck that you let him walk. And you're going to say, yeah, I wish we'd given him 16, 17 million a year. But it's all just about that risk. And there's teams that have $100 million in cap space that are more than willing to take those risks, as they should be, because they're just desperate for trying to find those players somehow.
Yep, 100%. All right, let's move on and get more deals done, or let more players hit the market.
All right, so I'm player.
Yep.
I'm the player here. Who am I?
Podcast.
Oh, let's see.
Dealer's choice, Hank.
You can be DeShawn Williams.
Dang it, I was hoping to be Alex Singleton.
Oh, we'll save him for later. DeShawn. So, obviously, 4.5 sacks this season. That's more than you'd had in your entire career up to this point. Turned 30. You know,
Why you got to bring that up?
Yeah,
Uh,
jeez Louise.
just in case anybody's listening, might be bugged in here. So, George Payton here, fully George Payton now, just talking. We don't think we're getting Dre'Mont back, and we don't want this room to fall apart. And when Dre'Mont wasn't out there, we thought that you played really well. And we want to give you $8.5 million over 2 years, and we'll guarantee $4.5 million of that, which is gives you a little security in the second year. But this year you're going to make as much money as you've made in your entire career, and we think it's a good deal for everybody involved.
Where do I sign?
Welcome in to the DNVR Broncos Podcast. DeShawn Williams is back, and so is this podcast. And oh my goodness, they really love DeShawn Williams. And now the Broncos, they kind of had to make this deal happen because you can't lose both of these guys. But DeShawn Williams is a starter now on the Broncos defensive line. The Broncos probably paid a little more than they needed to keep him around, but really you couldn't create this hole. You couldn't lose Dre'Mont, and you couldn't lose DeShawn Williams without bringing someone else in. They probably could have brought someone else in that was just as good with maybe a higher upside of DeShawn Williams for $4.5 million, so they overpaid a little here, but I'm okay with it because they didn't lose both DeShawn and it's 2 years, $8 million, because they didn't lose DeShawn and 8.5 because they didn't lose DeShawn and Dre'Mont Jones. But I like this. I think it was the better choice to keep DeShawn for about $4.25 a year than it was to keep Dre'Mont for 13 to 15.
Ding, 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 ding. That's your phone ringing.
That's my phone. Hello?
Hey, it's George Payton. Just wondering if I could come on the DNVR Broncos podcast and talk about the deal a little bit.
Yeah, we could sneak some time in, maybe.
Okay. Hey, guys, just want to say, we really based this off the Mike Purcell deal. Gave him 3 years, $11.5 million. Figured tick that up just a little bit, pass rusher, and keep him around.
Hey, George, I was just curious. Do you think that the Mike Purcell deal was a good one?
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, I think if it wasn't, then I think he probably wouldn't still be here. I think that we could have gotten off on a $500,000 dead cap last year, $250,000 dead cap this year, and the guy's doing what we asked him to do. That's a good deal.
Yeah, I'm going to have to disagree with you, George. I don't think that Mike Purcell deal was a good deal. And then on top of that, it wasn't a good deal. And then you paid more on top of it to keep DeShawn Williams. Ryan, I'm right there with you. DeShawn is signing this thing in a heartbeat.
Yeah, George, I feel like you probably could have gotten away with like a 2 years, $6.5 million deal here.
All right, bye, guys.
There's George Payton, everyone.
And that's the last time he'll probably want to call into the show. I think you're probably right, Ryan. I think $3 million a year will get it done. You could probably even knock it down to 2.5. But
I think probably.
To be fair, Henry, though,
Henry
4.5 sacks. That's
he was sick.
4.5
sacks.
We say $1 million a sack. So he could get 4.5.
He really got the millisack number.
He really did. I'd be so happy for DeShawn if he gets that.
Yeah. Great dude too.
Yeah, he really is. He is. It is incredible how much production he has for the size he is. Literally everyone the first time they see him, and I've probably heard 5 different people say this, like, that's DeShawn. He's like he's an animal on the field, and he's just like a very normal person.
Well, and he looks like almost like a space-eating nose tackle.
Right.
But then he makes defensive and maybe not defensive end, but defensive tackle plays. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
he has the size of one of those guys where you're like, yeah, his job's just to be in there and eat 2 blocks up.
Yeah. No, it's very true.
Super athletic for that size.
So I'm happy that he's back, if he's back on this deal. All right. I'm the player. Who am I?
You're Latavius Murray.
Oh, okay.
Latavius.
I like it.
Yeah, so
I'm loved by everyone. I like that.
You are, and hopefully you think you're loved by me as well. It's me, Latavius George Payton, and I want to give you a deal. I was considering holding out, waiting until the summer, seeing how things kind of fell, but you were so good for us, especially over the end of the season. We want to see if we can lock you up right now. Here's the deal. It's $1.5 million. It's a 50% raise over last season.
Okay.
And because you played so well last year, we'll throw in another $1.5 million in incentives. And we're being blunt here. We're going to be talking to some of the big guys on the market. We're planning on drafting somebody. We think Javonte's doing well. And
just really quick, you're talking to a big guy right now.
And we want to get you a partner and a couple other partners as well, who will also be carrying a lot of the workload. But you do a lot in the room, and we want to keep you around. And we can only guarantee about $250,000 of that, but we'll guarantee you'll get that $250,000. We'll keep you here through training camp. We plan to have you around. Again, $1.5 million, another $1.5 in incentives,
but only $750 guaranteed.
$250 guaranteed.
$250 guaranteed.
Yeah.
Can you put Sean on the phone? I like to talk to my guy.
Hey, Sean. You're always in here. Coming here again. Hey, it's me, Sean Payton.
Does he have a deeper voice?
Then George?
Is this John talking to me now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You know what? I like the deal.
No, I don't think he does have a deeper voice.
I like the deal, but come on. Let's just do 1 year, $1.5 million fully guaranteed with those $1.5 million incentives. There's no incentive for me to sign right now for $250,000 guaranteed.
I mean, playing a little hardball here, just being honest. You sat out there for a while. You were a practice squad guy for most of the season.
Sean, you brought me on to the set of the Pat McAfee show because you love me so much.
But I didn't give you a mic. Just remember that part.
Pat didn't give me a mic.
It's just so tough for us. We've got so many guys on this roster. We got 26 more coming off the injured reserve next year. It's just such a tight fit, and it's tough to guarantee anything. You look around what we did for veterans last year. I mean, Alex, $150K, DeShawn, $200K, Beck, $200K, Cam Fleming turned out to be a star as $100K. I don't want you to take this as we don't want you to be around, but we're guaranteeing more for you than we did for any of those guys, and we think that if you come to camp, there's at the very bare minimum practice squad spot. Somebody's going to pick you up. You not being in somebody else's camp isn't going to hurt your ability to get a job somewhere after camp, and if that's the case, you walk out of here with $250,000 and the ability to sign a whole nother contract on top of that.
I can sit on my couch until training camp, until the regular season rolls around, and get $250,000. So if you're not going to raise that to $1 million guaranteed, I'm out.
Let's take off a bit of the raise. Call it 125 for next year. We'll guarantee. We'll give you $1 million of that. You're on the team.
Plus $1.5 million incentives.
Yep, you got those incentives.
We got a deal, baby.
Welcome to the DNVR Broncos Podcast. Coming to you live from Studio A, where the A stands for Latavius Murray.
That's good. That's good.
He is back in Denver on a good deal. Look, the Broncos are obviously looking around right now. I think they probably could have waited to see what comes to them in free agency, what happens in the draft before they make this deal. But this gives them security, and it's $1 million. You're giving Latavius Murray $1 million to come in and just say, hey, look, we don't have to be desperate in the draft. We don't have to be desperate in free agency. So I like this deal. For me, it's almost like a 6-week deal. Like, you are banking on Latavius Murray for 6 weeks, and then you're hoping that by then, either your rookie that you got or Javonte Williams is ready to go. And now, if Saquon Barkley's out there on the market and he bounces around and doesn't get that big deal that he's looking for, maybe you jump in on the second round of free agency and give him, a big contract, but not that gigantic contract that he wanted originally.
Yeah, I like the analysis there. And from Latavius' side, this is, you're potentially paying Latavius less half of what Melvin Gordon got last year. And do you expect Latavius to be half the player Melvin Gordon was last year?
Expect him to have less than half the fumbles.
I will say I don't expect him to be half the player I expected Melvin to be. Wait, no, I do.
Confused.
I
think Latavius might have more negotiating power here, but you also remember where Latavius was a year ago. He was eventually signed to a practice squad, so he sees the opportunity to get $1 million guaranteed.
Yeah, you don't
with
pass that up.
Potentially the ability to double it if, and touching wood, Javonte doesn't come back, they draft a 5th-round guy, and that 5th-round guy isn't ready to play yet, then Latavius should be able to hit those incentives. And obviously a key here for Latavius' side is, what do those incentives look like? You imagine the bar is going to be fairly low because he's not just the only plan coming in for $1 million.
And from the Broncos side, it's one of those things where guaranteeing $1 million to a 33-year-old running back when running backs grow on trees, it's a tough pill to swallow, but the reason you do it is mostly just for the locker room stuff. He's one of the leaders on the team. You keep him around, especially to bridge the gap with Sean Payton. And, you're not going to love whoever your 3rd, 4th running back is. That's just probably the case. If you choose somebody who you do actually kind of like having in the building, why not commit to it?
$1 million is nothing.
Yeah.
For a position that you're going to be turning to left and right.
Yeah. But
Yep.
I mean, even just in the grand scheme of things, like paying someone $1 million is nothing.
It's not the end of the world.
No, it really isn't.
As long as you keep him on the roster. Because that's where if it turns into $1 million in dead cap and all of a sudden you're paying whatever, $900K to whoever now makes the team, then it kind of doubles and, do it 3 times, then all of a sudden it's $3 million. But yeah, as long as he's on the team, as long as things go well, you're in good shape on a 1-year deal, it's fine.
And you're really in good shape if you check out our friends over at Jive High, JIVEHYVE.com. They're going to deliver weed straight to you. It's the weekend, so
The
you're
weekend.
out. The weekend?
The weekend.
The weekend. Wow. Celebrate the weekend with our friends at Jive Hive. Good one there, Hank. I like
Thanks.
that.
Really?
And if you don't.
We got a thumbs down as soon as that joke came out.
Wow.
Damn.
So bad
What
one,
is
Hank.
going on? How do we
Sorry.
only have 44 thumbs up right now?
Yeah,
know.
that's
Oh,
right.
they just converted their thumbs down to a thumbs up.
Hey.
It's especially everyone saying they love the Deal or No Deal. Hit us with a
Yeah.
thumbs up.
Yeah, and everyone's saying they love the weekend.
Yes, exactly. Check out our friends over at Jive Hive where they're going to deliver weed straight to your door, and it's going to be a better deal than going
Yep.
out and buying it. This is a no-brainer, and the reason it's going to be a better deal is because they don't have stores that they have to pay the overhead for. So you get the privacy, you get it delivered straight to you, so convenience and a better price. There's no better things to do. So check out our friends over at Jive Hive, JIVEHYVE.com. They're delivering to Aurora, Greenwood Village, Monument, Fountain, and various areas of El Paso County. And continue to check out their website because they continue to expand that area. JIVEHYVE.com.
And also, if you are run over by a car, call Backus and Shanker, because Backus and Shanker will get you money if somebody has injured you and it was not your fault. A lot of the time that means auto accidents, but it really could be anything at all. They've won over $1 billion for clients in Colorado. They've been in the state for more than 25 years. They won't charge you until they win your case, and that's just a pretty great deal. They've got offices all over Colorado, including neighborhood offices in Denver, Aurora, Inglewood, and Fort Collins. They serve the entire state with more than 30 lawyers on staff. Backus and Shanker helps with all kinds of injury cases where you weren't at fault: car accidents, motorcycles, rideshare, pedestrians, trucks. They can even help if you're injured at work. So call them at 222-2222 to find out if you have a case for free. Backus and Shanker wins.
Let's go.
Let's go.
All right. Who else we got?
Alex.
Pull
Let's
back my
go.
hair.
Yeah.
Grow
Saw
it
our
out
guy
too.
Alex at the airport.
Yes, you did.
You did.
Did he give you some tips on what this deal should look like?
He did not. No. He gave me a fist pump though.
Oh, nice.
There you go. Just as good. You know what? We want to keep you around. And we want you for more than just this year. And we'll just say it. We want to give you $9.5 million over the next 2 years. We'll guarantee 6 of it. That means, that's guaranteed this year and about 25% guaranteed for the next year. That's a lot of money. That's a whole lot of money, and we think that it's best for everybody if you accept it right now.
A couple things. First of all, what was Josie's deal?
2 years, 11 mil. 6 guaranteed.
And what were you saying for me again there? 2 years, 9.5? 4 guaranteed?
6 guaranteed.
6 guaranteed.
6 guaranteed.
All right, so I like the 6 guaranteed thing.
Okay.
But you see, Josie's, a buddy of mine, and all year last year, as I'm like mopping him up in the tackle total, he's just flexing on me that he makes more money than me. And I don't really want to go into this year with that hanging over my head. So I would like to make $1 more than he does.
Yeah, I mean, just being blunt, that's our green dot guy. He's out there calling everything. He's running everything. And, we can do that, but the truth is Josie's deal expires after this year, and we really want to keep him too. We really want to keep that pairing of both of you together for as long as we can, and there's only so much money that we can invest. Again, it's I hate bringing this stuff up, but you're a couple years older than Josie is. And the truth is, we think that if we give you this much money, which is, hell, I don't know that you've made $1 million in a season of your career. We'll give you $6 million just today. 6 today, and with plenty of reason to believe that you are going to get that full $9.5 million over these next 2 years. Keep you paired up with Josie, and we think we're going to turn this team around, and we want you to be a part of it. I
see where you're coming from. And you mentioned that green dot. who exactly do you envision wearing that green dot when Josie leaves?
We envision Josie staying.
Oh.
Okay, because I'm thinking, give me that $2 million that you're planning on giving Josie moving forward after next year, and give me that green dot, and then we both clean our hands and everyone's happy. I would like Josie to stay around for sure.
You would.
I just think that him and I should trade salaries. What you're saying to me, you can just bring to him next year.
You really think that?
Yeah.
That's going to be a tough sell. Again, like if there was a full track record of this, the tackle numbers are great.
Leading the team in tackles for 3 consecutive
And that's
years?
great,
Is
but
that a track record to you?
You cut the missed tackle rate in half this season. You had a sub 100 passer rating when targeted for the first time in your career. I mean, this was the best performance you've had, and the truth is you've also turned 30, and we think that we're giving you a great deal at $9.5 million over 2 seasons, and I think that this lines up well for everybody, and I think that maybe you could find a little bit better on the market, but I just don't see these guarantees in this deal coming.
All right. I think I'm willing to work with you on this.
All right.
And I have two demands.
Okay.
One, we got to get it to 10. Can you make that happen?
Depends on that second demand. I like it, though.
Second one is you have to call up the DNVR Broncos podcast, bring Henry Chisholm to the facility, and allow me to tackle him once.
As me, George Payton, I have no issue with that at all because I am George Payton and I don't care about that. So yeah, George Payton, say, yep, we can make that happen. We'll give you the $5 million per year. We'll give you the kid and everything's good. Everything's good.
All right, we got a deal.
Yep.
We got a deal.
Alex Singleton is back, and so is the DNVR Broncos podcast. Boy, it seems like the Broncos got pushed around in this deal. Wish I could have been a fly on the wall, seeing how this thing worked out here. But $5 million for Alex Singleton. Good for him. He can finally settle down, buy that house that he told us he wanted to buy on the DNVR Broncos podcast. I don't know why Ryan and Henry aren't here. I heard there was a weird little new negotiation in this deal, and I hope they're back tomorrow. I think Ryan will be not quite sure about Henry, but glad that Alex is back. Now they've got their tandem at inside linebacker sealed for this next year at least, and you know what you're getting with Alex. You're getting a tackling machine. But since neither Ryan or Henry are here, Jose brought up a good point in the comments section. He made the point that while Alex Singleton did lead the team in tackles and bested Josie in that, Josie had more tackles for loss, forced fumbles, fumble recoveries, sacks, interceptions, pretty much everything else. Josie beat him in, and the fact that Alex was still pretty much able to get that same contract, I think he pushed him around a bit. Thanks for tuning in.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it's a good deal. It's a good deal for everybody. I think, especially with that number, I think the way it would
We're
work
only
out.
guaranteeing 1 year, essentially.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And on top of it, if the Broncos didn't want to spend $10, $11 million on that position this year, they can move on from Josie.
True.
And I think it's only like $500,000 cap hit in dead money. So you essentially just switch Alex for Josie this year.
Yep, it would be an option. And I think, I mean, what it really does is say, like, that worked last year, so we can do it again this year without too much cost. And if it doesn't work this year, then you could really move on from both of them if you wanted after that. There'd be a little bit of dead cap, but, your options are totally open. And if it works again this year, when there's no reason to think it wouldn't, then there you go. Just keep it going.
As we move closer to the draft, everyone is going to do the thing that we do every year, which is mobile linebacker, coverage linebacker, need this, need that. They tried to give that to Vance Joseph, and it did not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, when they gave Vance Joseph Isaiah Simmons, he was like, I wish I could remember the guy's name, but he's like, I would actually rather play this 13-year vet at middle linebacker than have to figure out how to use Isaiah Simmons there because I can trust him. So I don't think Vance wants another undersized like Owen Papoe or whatever his name is from Auburn who ran 4.51 or something yesterday, like an impressive. I just don't think he wants a guy like that again. He's like, just give me 2 sure tacklers. than trying to like fit this guy who we were like, oh, maybe he can cover Kelsey. No one can cover Kelsey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a really good point. And then also, I just remember what Johnny Venerable said about young guys that don't really have a full position in Vance Joseph's defense. They don't develop, and then Vance doesn't want to play them. And then on top of that, when you look at the Broncos draft, they don't have many picks in order to fill positions. So can you really go into the draft opening up positions of need? That's why you signed DeShawn Williams if you're going to lose Dre'Mont Jones, so that you don't have a gaping hole that you have to fill in the draft. That's why you sign an inside linebacker here, so that you don't have to add someone. What did I say? I look over, you hearing Ryan or
I heard
cracking up.
here laugh.
Did you pick up
No,
on that, Henry?
no, I have no
Okay,
It's
idea.
so
good.
weird that you guys call me out here instead of Yaya. Like,
I only call you yeah.
you just called me out here literally like 5 seconds ago.
Very true.
Did
we
I
got
really?
the tape for that.
My bad.
I just like
invented
to
that
call
name.
people
I
by
heard
their
it.
names. By their names.
Fair enough.
You know?
Yeah, hear me?
Wow.
Yeah, there was. It was Jordan Hicks who
Yeah.
played in front of Isaiah Simmons.
Yeah. Yeah. So, anyways, glad Alex is back, so we don't have to deal with that.
Yep.
Henry, who we going with? I think these ones will be easier.
I know.
Maybe not.
Let's see. I guess I've got 3 left.
Hit me with whoever you want. I'm ready.
How about we'll give you Dalton.
Oh, Dalton.
Let's just get Dalton out of the
Big
way.
D, let's go.
And Dalton, it's just a tough situation for us. You know, the offensive line didn't work last year, and
Not a good start.
we don't think that was your fault, but we just are really open to change right now. And you know, we talked to Dre'Mont, and what we decided there is that he was best off looking to hit the market. And the truth is, we think that you are a valuable player, and we think that you do have a lot of value. But
Like I'm
you know,
on a roller coaster.
if you
ride
don't
right now.
find that value out there that we expect and that you probably expect too, we'll give you $17 million over 2 years. We'll give you $17 million over 2 years, and you know we'll guarantee 12 of it. And we think that can be a competitive offer, but we recognize that you know there aren't a lot of offensive linemen out there who have the pedigree that you have, and if you want to go search for that deal, go right ahead. If you want to take maybe just a little bit less to stick around here in Denver, we'd really appreciate that. We think you could build a legacy here. We think that you keep selling jerseys here, and you know we'd love to have you back at that number.
You're an awful salesman. I'll start off with that.
Okay. Yep.
But what I will say is you have my attention. I'm not walking out, but instead of letting me hit the market, because if I hit the market, those numbers are just going to be too big, Mr. George. And I'm just not going to be able to walk away from that money. I'm going to be able to get 4 years, $48 million. I'm going to be able to get $12 million a year. That's what my agent's telling me, because I'm one of the top 3 guards on the market right now.
His pet raccoon's got to eat.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. What?
2 years, $17 million.
But wait,
guaranteed.
we're not done negotiating. So I can get 4 years, $48 million. I do want to stay in Denver. I will take a hometown discount if we get this deal done before free agency starts. But you got to meet me in the middle. You said $8.5 million. I'll meet you closer to where you are than closer to the 12. Let's meet in the middle. Let's go 3 years, $30 million. I'm ready to sign. 20 mil guaranteed.
You know, that guaranteed money is kind of a sticking point. You know, the truth is, again, you saw the product last year. You saw that,
And like you said, I respect you. You said it wasn't my fault.
and I don't believe that it was. But when you have something that doesn't work, when you give up the most sacks in the NFL, changes are sometimes a good thing.
When you
And
yell at
especially
Brett Rippon,
when you yell at Brett Rippon, who we won't get into that. We'll guarantee half of it. We knock that guaranteed money down to 15 mil, and we can make this happen.
17.5. Meeting you right in the middle again. Right in the middle.
Yep. Let's do it. 3
Boom.
years, 30 million, 17.5 guaranteed.
Dalton's staying in Denver, baby.
Yep.
welcome to the DNVR Broncos Podcast, coming to you live from Studio A, where the A stands for A Gap, as in good luck getting through the A Gap. Dalton Risner is in there to stop you. This is interesting, guys. I did not expect Dalton Risner to be back with the Broncos, but in the end, I feel he took a legitimate hometown discount here.
Wow.
And the Broncos are getting themselves a damn good deal. 3 years, $30 million, a little over half of that guaranteed. You keep a good player in town at a good rate, and you give yourself some flexibility if, in the future you don't like the way this works out.
Boom. There it is.
There it is.
I actually take the opposite approach. I'm a little uncomfortable with the deal if I'm the podcast, which we are, of, at least a little bit. 10 mil, a lot for Dalton. Like I said, I think he can get more on the market, but that number is just a little uncomfortable. One thing that you know about Dalton is he's going to play. I think he missed 2 games in his career, and it was the last 2 games of last season. So he's someone that you can rely on, which on the offensive line is not something you can say. So at least you get availability.
Yeah. And, I'd be uncomfortable with it too. And the truth is you'd need players though. You need to play them. And if you're going to go give 16 mil to McGlinchey, I'd be uncomfortable with that. I have the same concerns Ryan's brought up. You're going to give 21 mil to Orlando Brown? I'd have big concerns about that. That's a lot of money for a guy who gave up the most pressures in the league this year. If it's Caleb McGarry, he's had 1 good season. All of these offensive linemen have flaws. And Dalton's flaw is that he isn't the most physical run blocker. He's good in pass protection, hasn't gotten as much push as you'd like these last couple of years. And if that's the flaw there, you put Quinn Myers on the other side, you say Garrett Bowles, that's a guy who can get push, and this is a deep center class. You figure something out. But I do think that in particular, the Lloyd Cushenberry, Dalton Risner combo, if you're trying to get push, I mean, that's just
I would
not really
rather
gonna happen.
replace the player that's never had a good season than the one that just has 1 good season.
Yep.
It's very fair. And to Ryan's point, though, about keeping Dalton around, feeling good about it, is a good deal potentially compared to what he could get. But then the other thing is, can you really open up holes on the offensive line when you already have to fill holes on the offensive line? So I understand wanting to keep him around. That price scares me a little bit.
Also, you're talking about a Colorado kid.
Yep.
Loves being a Denver Bronco and was the Walter Payton Man of the Year candidate for the team last year.
Yes, you're right. I don't take those things in consideration
From Broncos,
if I'm George Payton.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean,
One-
all that type of stuff led to Justin Simmons being the highest paid safety.
You're right.
But it was the play more than anything.
No, I do think I do think you're right that those things did come into it. But
I
to
think
me,
that if
I
Justin
wouldn't
Simmons in
take
an
those
alternate
things
universe
into it.
was an asshole, he wouldn't be a Bronco right now.
I mean, yeah. There's a difference between like a neutral and an asshole, though.
Right.
But yeah, and my thing is like, it sucks in some ways, but if I'm a GM, if I'm paying money, all I care about is what you're going to do on football field. Unless you're going
That's
to
a bad
actually tear
approach,
things down. Really?
Because you're going to end up with a room full of bad dudes who are good at football.
I mean, but again, like if you're a notable bad person or somebody who doesn't care about football, or
I'm just saying it doesn't. You're still getting. You're not overpaying Dalton Risner because of those things.
No.
You're just willing to work with him because of those things. Like the play has been okay, and everything else has been A++.
You're not going to turn over Dalton Risner for another one of these guards who's basically Dalton Risner on the same money when Dalton like. That is kind of the tiebreaker. Or it's like, why? There's no, you don't need to force change.
It's a very small thing. And I was looking at one of these articles, these national articles written about kind of the top free agents around, and Dalton was on that list somewhere. And I couldn't believe what I read about him from a national perspective. I don't remember which outlet it was, but it said, you may not know, you probably recognize Dalton more for him shoving Brett Rippon and yelling at him on the sideline than you do of him as a player. And I thought, holy shit, if that's like the way he's truly viewed,
that is true.
I think that may be more how he's viewed through media's eyes nationally and fans' eyes nationally than GM's. But I mean, if that's really how GMs are looking at him, then you're going to be able to get him for less than $10 million. But again, I think that's more just a media perspective. I was just shocked to see that.
What does like PFF say about Dalton Risner?
4 years, 8.25 per year.
Okay. It was a similar deal.
Then we kind of, we took a year off, which helps the Broncos, and we added a little money, which helps
What
Dalton.
about in terms of like his rating? Like, what do they call him? Like, is he a top 25 guard?
This year they ranked him 42nd. Year before was 28th. Year before was 49th.
Dang, so they're saying a bottom 10 if you split that number, that 42 up into 21, which I'm
Saying he's
sure
the
it's not.
second best guard on most teams, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, or a bottom 10 second guard.
So what, you subtract 32. Yeah, I mean, average second guard, probably.
Yeah.
For 10 mil, I don't like it.
Yeah, it might be a little too
Probably
much.
agree.
But then again, you're also overpaying to not create a hole.
Again, like I said, I think, again, him in particular, he's good in pass protection, just doesn't get a whole bunch of push. And, you know, Lloyd is currently the center and probably will be next season, just by the numbers. If you bring back Dalton, then maybe something changes. I think that combination in particular makes it a little bit tough. And I think also you're rotating left tackles last season. That made things look a little bit worse too. And all of that also makes me think, how have we never seen him at right tackle? Because again, if the concern is he can't hold up in pass protection, that's a fair concern. But what we've seen is he's able to do it inside, and why not give him a tougher job and see if he's able to do it? And maybe when he's going up against smaller players, the run blocking kind of ticks up a little bit. And I don't know. I'm not willing to give him a contract and say, here's the plan, but I would be curious. I wish we had seen it at some point.
Yeah, I remember sitting there at the Senior Bowl, and I think, was he part of like the introductory night press conference, Zach? I just remember them talking about him. Maybe it was like Jim Nagy was asked about it.
Right.
And he said, man, this dude can play guard, center, and tackle in the NFL. And I want to say he said, I think I envision him at right tackle more than anywhere else.
Yeah.
Huh.
And the interesting thing here is, do you give him this money and then right away switch him to right tackle?
You just can't. Like, you
No,
can't
you
plan on it. Like, if something comes up, you can be more than willing to try it.
So it's just
like,
too late for that. That's just kind
Exactly.
of an alternate reality.
I mean,
You can-
unless
yeah.
Sean Payton looks at him and says, that's my right tackle.
There's a world in which you you sign a big right tackle, and he gets hurt, though, and you also drafted a guard in the third and say, well, and in that case, I'm willing to try it for a game. If it doesn't work, you got to go a different way.
What if you bamboozle Dalton a little bit and you pay him guard money? You don't tell him anything
Yeah.
about this tackle thing. He signs the deal, 10 mil. You switch him out to right tackle, and then he's an average right tackle. Then you're like, $10 million for my average right tackle. We're paying Garrett Bowles $17 million to be an average left tackle. We just got to steal it right.
And going by
Doesn't seem like a good way to do business.
Well, you don't necessarily tell him right when he
Yeah.
signs a deal. Ha, you're our right tackle. But you say, we think you could be a really good right tackle. Let's try you there. Don't you think he would be a little honored?
Probably.
If you present it in a way like, man, we really think your talents are a right tackle.
And I don't think he hears that as like, oh, you just wanted to get me on this deal and go that. Like, nobody's giving him a right tackle deal. Like, because he's
Right,
never
right.
been a right tackle.
He might have said, like, why didn't you let me do this last year so I could
That
prove
is
myself
true.
before my contract?
But then
was up?
Sean says, well, I wasn't here last year. As Sean says, as he said, I pull up to the facility. I don't have a rear view mirror. I don't have a side view mirror. I'm not looking backward. I'm just looking forward, Dalton.
Seems dangerous and illegal.
And, I mean, going down that same road, you also have Will Hernandez out there who hasn't been quite as good as Dalton Risner, but is kind of like similar. Good pass protector. Doesn't really give you all that much in the running game. PFF has him projected at $12 million over 3 years, 4 per year. And it's like, if you think you could sign him, draft a guy in the third, and compete for that spot, like, it's a bold plan. You probably can't justify going into that with expecting improvement. But there's a decent chance that he's as good as Dalton is,
We
and you're
loved
saying
Will
we're paying
Hernandez
him
at the Senior Bowl.
$4 million a
Yeah,
year.
Senior Bowl
Really?
Dalton. Yep.
You know
Yeah.
what? Randomly, I thought about this last night. No idea why I was thinking of Will Hernandez. But was that the last article that owner, CEO Brandon Spano has wrote for this company?
Possibly.
I was thinking, like, when else would he have been writing after that?
Yeah, it is possible for sure.
Pretty crazy.
That is funny.
We need to get him to write the breaking news story if they sign him.
For sure. Did I dream up an awkward interaction between Will Hernandez and Jonathan Gannon in that video? Or is that a thing that happened? I want to say Jonathan Gannon sees him and is like, Hernandez?
Oh, was it him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he's like, big, strong, or something like
Oh
that.
my god!
boom, boom, boom.
Oh my god! The guy's so weird.
Oh,
Guy's so weird.
oh, that's too good. Wow.
Want to fly through a couple of little ones real quick?
Yeah.
There's two left.
Your turn.
It is?
Quick negotiation.
Okay.
All right.
No.
Over an hour, by the way.
Wow. Kareem
Jackson.
Jackson. In case you've forgotten who you are.
Yes.
We want to bring you back. And you know what? We want to give you basically the same deal we gave you last year. It's 1 year. It's $2 million. Difference is we just don't want to guarantee that deal. First of all, we don't know if you're even interested in continuing to play. There aren't a lot of 35-year-olds in the league. And what you did last year, we think you did enough to be on an NFL roster. What you've done for us before, we want to keep you in that room. But we want to give Caden his opportunity to be the starter. We want to bring you back as kind of our third safety and maybe work with PJ a little bit in that role. Like I said, $2 million, same as last year. We want to guarantee about $300,000 of that.
I'll take the deal.
There we go. Yep, I thought so.
Welcome to the DNVR Broncos Podcast. Kareem is back again.
Yep.
And so is this podcast. And you know what? Good deal for the Broncos. Would have not liked this deal if more than $500,000 was guaranteed. But, I mean, really low risk here. Really surprised Kareem took this. He believes in Sean Payton. He must. But I like this because the Broncos laid out to him. And as George Payton told us in his press conference to bring Kareem back, he's not guaranteed the starting job. Hopefully, you hope that Kareem or that Caden Stearns takes this and runs with it. If not, you have a solid backup in Kareem Jackson. What we saw with Kareem last year was a little fall off, but for $2 million, and that's if he's playing good enough to make the team, then you'll like it. But I just love how the Broncos have an opportunity to get out from under this and really only cost you $300,000.
All right, Cam. Mr. Fleming.
Oh, show me the money, baby. You need a right tackle, George.
We do need a right tackle. And, we want to honestly give you about the same deal as what we gave you last year. We want you to come in and be our swing tackle again. Depending on how things pan out during free agency, we might give you an opportunity to compete for this starting job. We might also just give a guy a lot of money and say you're our number 2, same role as last year. But here's what we'll do: we'll double your salary. We'll get that up to $2 million for you. We'll guarantee $500,000 of that, and again, just compared to the agreement we came to last year when we gave you $100,000 guaranteed on a $1 million contract, we think that's a decent pay raise for you.
George, what was 12 years, $2 million? What was the deal for
Cam, I hope you know we're running up on the end of the show here.
what was the deal for Billy Turner last year?
Actually,
I feel disrespected in this negotiation. You're crunching me.
Billy, we gave 2.42.
2.4, that's the deal
Yep.
I need. That's the deal I need because last year you paid me for 4 games that I played the year before. Last year I played 15 games and was solid. $2.5 million, $2 million guaranteed, done deal.
What if
We're running up on the end of the show, George.
What if we make it that same deal, but we make it for 2 years? We'll give you a security too.
So 5 years or $5 million?
2.8. Don't get ahead of yourself. Or 4.8. Don't get ahead of yourself.
4.8.
2 years.
2.4 with 2.5 guaranteed.
Yep.
Done deal.
There we go.
Welcome to the DNVR Broncos Podcast. Coming to you from Studio A, where the A stands for Are You Sure About That One, George Payton?
Yep.
George Payton got bullied in these negotiations, guys. Somehow, Cam Fleming went from getting a small contract for 1 year to a larger contract for 2 years. Great deal for Cam Fleming.
Yeah, thank you. I think I did a good job representing him. Cam, if you want me to represent you, I will.
I think I did a great job too.
No, you did a bad job,
George
Gave
Payton.
everybody what they wanted. What are you talking about?
There weren't a lot of no's coming from this direction.
Yeah,
but,
wait, how many people did we let walk?
None.
None.
Dre'Mont.
Dre'Mont.
Walking, then everybody was like, "Yeah, what you want, man? Bring back."
Honestly, I think that money-wise, it works.
Yeah.
and George Payton wise, I say thank God we let Cam play left tackle and take that value a little bit, because when he was playing right tackle, he was on pace to make more money than this.
I see how the spin coming from Dove Valley is
That's how we
starting
feel.
to happen.
We feel like we got a
Zach's phone's
starter. I feel like we got a starter.
Anyone else?
No.
That was fun.
That was fun.
It was
That was a
fun.
blast.
More role
Why'd
play.
we put it off for so long?
Next thing we put off for so long is probably gonna be just as good.
That's true. That's true.
So many people. Yeah,
Things come to those who wait.
you know what? I love that so many people in the comment section said that they love this, but you're not showing us the love. Hit
No,
us with a
none of
thumbs
you.
up.
3 people liked.
Yeah, wow, that's hurtful. Hit us with a thumbs up. This was a blast. Thanks so much for playing. We had a lot do people playing with us in there too.
Yep. Yep.
Well, playing the game with us.
Yes.
Do we have? Do we have any super chats we need to hit? Nope. All right.
Any comments?
Do we have time?
Yeah, we got it. We got.
I
a
have
couple minutes.
time.
We have some time here, and we do have some comments on the website. First one coming in from our friend, the Count.
Classic.
Here's a hard one: waterfalls, rainbows, or grand vistas. Love, the Count.
What defines a grand vista?
Yeah, so I saw this one earlier and had to look it up. I knew what grand meant, had to look up vista.
You didn't know that was just view in Spanish?
Yeah, view essentially. Looking like through a tree, I think is what it says. Like looking through a small.
That can't be it.
Like looking through a
Waterfalls.
small window, such as like between two trees, out at something grand.
A pleasing view. That's what
No. Read the other definitions. You gotta keep going.
a mental view of succession. Remember anticipated events.
A pleasing view, comma, especially one seen through a long, narrow opening. So yeah. Long, narrow.
So maybe like you're in a
opening.
tunnel.
Yeah, I think it's like, again, two trees, and you're like looking through them, and you see church spires in the
Hey,
background.
maybe this is me just not
A
understanding.
distant view through or along an avenue or opening.
What if it's like looking at mountains from a distance?
It has to be through a narrow
I'm
thing.
thinking it's like, you know, there's like, it's like through a window, like one of those like beautifully arched windows, and like you're looking through it and seeing.
Yeah, okay, let's go with that.
Okay, that's dead last for me. Not even close. I'll take waterfalls number 1. I mean, at least there's something
I've never
to do.
seen like a dope waterfall in person.
I'll get you up to Montana. We can
I
get
guess
some
there's
waterfalls.
one in Vail that's just like coming off the side of a mountain. That one's pretty cool.
Okay.
Oh, rainbow waterfall out in a monument's pretty nice.
Wow,
That's a
rainbow
combination.
waterfall. Yeah, that's
I
combining.
don't
We
know
can't
if
do
that's
that.
allowed.
I'm gonna do a grand vista, but a good grand vista. It has to be a grand vista, because that a waterfall is cool, but you know what to expect. A rainbow is
True.
cool, but it's the same. You know, they could be bigger, they can be smaller. You know what to expect. A grand vista, you don't know what to expect. It's gonna blow your mind away.
I'm still a little bit confused about what a grand vista is, but I'm a huge views guy.
Oh.
Like, if I'm in a place and it has a great view, I'm just guaranteed to like it. So I'm going Grand Vista.
Grand Vista. Oh, if we're going Grand Vista High School, I'm gonna
That's not a
not
place.
go that
There's
way.
Grand View High School. There's
Oh,
Mountain
you're
Vista High
right.
School.
Wow, that's impressive.
I like how Zac just played along. He's like, oh.
Yeah,
It always
you got
bothered me because I went to Fairview High School,
Oh.
and our view is way better than Grandview's view.
You just had a fair view.
Our view is literally we're at the foot of the Flatirons.
That's a pretty good view, you would think, but someone said it was only fair.
I know, and then they went into Grandview, which is like in Aurora or Centennial or something, and they were like, "This is grand."
Wow, amazing. Henry, what's your answer?
Waterfalls, rainbows, grand vistas. Grand
Wow,
vistas.
just wrong again. Wrong again. Okay, and last comment coming in from our guy C Fillmore 72 says, "Greetings from England. Great pod today. Love the format. Christopher, Grand Vistas, and Rivers." Okay, splitting hairs there. Our guy C Fillmore also in the comment section today. He's a big Dalton Risner guy, so he loved the deal
I
that
think
we
he has a
gave
Dalton
him.
Risner jersey.
He does.
Which
He
is-
says everyone's going to get number 66 jerseys after this deal.
Wow.
Yeah.
It does seem like typically it's the Colorado people who get the Dalton Risner jerseys, which makes it even cooler that he has one.
True.
That is true.
Because
That's a
he's
really
in
good
England.
point.
Also, for what's worth, Spot Rack has Dalton getting 4 years at 9.5 per year.
Damn, what did I say? Okay, no. Yeah. That's
Three
better.
for 30.
Yeah. There we
Solid
go.
deal.
Yeah.
All right, this
Bring him back.
was a blast. We should
Was.
try to come up with more segments like this one.
Absolutely. I
Yes.
love it.
It's almost free
Turns-
agency.
It turns out we're into role play.
Yeah.
I hope you guys have a great weekend, and we'll catch you later.